we start? Where do we start, Eva? Here we are in our living room, sitting on the sofa, doing what we do basically more or less every weekend.
No. Every day.
We sit on the sofa every weekend, but we do not drink wine every day.
That's very true.
Let's clarify that. We don't drink wine every day. However, we also talk about our favourite thing.
Which is folk dancing.
Folk dancing. So, on that note, welcome to the very first episode of Folk.Yap. Messed that up already. It's wine, folk.
And yap!
As you can tell, this is the very first time we're doing this, so we're a bit nervous, but we got some wine.
As the episode goes on, right, it's going to be more fun. So just tune in, get some wine.
But if you're underage, please do not drink wine or any alcoholic beverage because it is not recommended.
Yeah.
My name is Liene. I am Leicester Latvian folk dance group teacher and also your host of the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm Eve. I am also a dance teacher in Leicester Latvian folk dance group, and I will be your co-host of this podcast. Hopefully I will bring the humor, maybe the looks, I don't know, but I'm here.
On that note, as you're talking about your looks and your amazing genetics, could you please briefly introduce yourself about folk dancing? When did you start and how did you end up being part of Latvian folk dance group in Leicester?
So I have been dancing since I was 3 years old. Really didn't choose that. My mom just took me to a practice and I stayed. But I think the first real decision of staying in folk dance I made when I was around 16 years old, because I kind of took like a pause from all of that because it just wasn't cool. Like in that time, it was just like, oh, you're dancing folk dance. Oh, that's not cool. You need to do like a hip hop dance or like play basketball or do other stuff, which I did. I tried everything under the sun. And I just realized that folk dancing is something so close to my heart. And I just went back. And then I moved to UK and the COVID hit. Obviously, I thought, oh, I'm in the UK. Like I will probably never ever dance Latvian folk dancing because I'm in UK, right? But then after like a Google search there and now, I did find there's a lot of communities, a lot of groups here in UK, and I joined one and I met Liene in one of the events. We basically clicked within first 2 seconds, and then she was like, well, I'm creating a dance group in Leicester. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. A few months later, I approached Liene, we had a conversation. A couple of days later, she was like, by the way, do you want to be like helping me out with like dance teaching and things like that? And I was like, yeah, sure, because that has always been my dream. That's me and my dance, kind of a...
Cheers to that.
Wine. You drink that wine and you tell about your experiences.
Well, as the Eva kind of covered a little bit, I started the dance group back in February after dancing when I was younger and when I was a teenager as well. As you say, I think there was a point when I was like, this is not cool at all. And then sort of like coming with the age, I was like, actually, I really want to be part of this. And then I moved to Romania for a bit, did some volunteer work there. So I took a massive break from folk dancing, moved to UK. And at that point, when I moved to UK, actually there wasn't many communities around. That was about 12 years ago now. So I actually felt quite lonely. I was working at that time in a warehouse and I kind of missed that, like rushing around and being part of these communities. And so after a few years, sort of, I started noticing there was more and more community groups coming in. And that's when the famous words came out of my mouth to Alex, he will join us at some point. To be like, hey, we should join Latvian folk dancing. We started dancing, and bear in mind, my fiance, he is English, so he had no clue what is Latvian folk dancing. But he found to love it, and it was amazing. It was something we can share together, and it was also the fact that we could share the Latvian culture. And after a few years, I changed another group, and then I think it was last year, November, around the same time.
Right.
I had this idea. I was like, I should do my own dance group.
I think that idea came to you way earlier than November, because we met in November.
It was November. I remember it because I was sleeping in a bed after my surgery.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
And I was watching this, but it was purely because I think I just wanted to put my own little touch to it. And I think this is why as well it's called Rokraksts.
Yeah.
Because it translates from Latvian to English as handwriting. And I was like thinking, what could be a great name? It's like Rokraksts, because it's my own handwriting on a folk dancing in a community group. So here we are. Eva eventually met me and the story goes on. Here we are.
Here we are, and now you can listen to us every week.
Yapping about folk dancing.
Yapping about folk.
So that's why actually we decided to call this first episode Starting from Scratch.
Yeah.
So pure reason for that was, obviously, I've started this dance group from scratch. Eva joined me not so far along. And also starting this podcast from scratch because I don't think anyone's done this before. Like, I mean, people have done a podcast.
Yeah. But like in communities that like, folk communities, I don't think anyone have done anything like that. I feel like with my FBI cap on, could have found something, but I don't think we did.
Should have probably done some research.
Well, maybe, but maybe we are the first ones, hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, if there is any, let's be friends.
Yeah,
and let's do something together.
Exactly, we can do that.
But yeah, so I think pure reason for starting this podcast was as well to raise awareness, not only about the folk dancing, but also about like how can you start a community group. And the other thing is, it was just pure raising awareness of our dance group. I mean, let's be selfish a little bit here.
Yeah, exactly.
All we're going to talk about is going to be folk dancing, many aspects of that, community group, starting community group from scratch. Also the goods and the bads.
Also, it's not only about just, folk dancing in general. There is so many other things that goes under it that maybe people from the kind of side wouldn't realize that it's there. For example, for me and Liana, we are there essentially managing a group of people. There are a lot of things that we're gonna cover that it's not just folk dancing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's everything else that kind of stays behind the scenes that no one really sees because everyone sees only the performances. We love the fun part, but there is also the hard part, the nitty-gritty part where me and Liana are sitting on the same couch here, and we are just like,
coach, that's so American of you.
Thanks.
I mean, I don't mind it, but coach.
Yeah, well, aside from that, we are sitting here and we are just stressing out, trying to figure out all the bits that we need to do and just, hope for the best. Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes it is literally, I think I keep saying to you, it's like, I think I'm the patient one.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely Leon is the patient one.
And I keep saying to Eva, it's always like, just take one step at a time. Like, let's deal with one problem and then deal with another one. And I think, as you say, I don't think people actually see that behind the scenes. And I don't think even our dance group sometimes don't see actually how much work goes behind it. And I would do anything for them. And, but I think we just want to show that anyone can take an idea, create the idea. And I think that's kind of like the main thing that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be a lot of folk. Hopefully Purvinch is going to join us at some point.
That would be good.
If you see this, please join us. We love you. You're amazing.
Yes, exactly. So we can host you here on this lovely sofa, British.
Coach. On the coach. It's literally 9:00. It's 9 p.m. I mean, nothing really changes because we do this all the time, but this time we just got like lights set up in front of us.
Set up and camera and like.
Yeah. We actually did our makeup for this episode.
Yeah, we did.
But we're still in confis because we're not changing that.
Yeah, no, we're not changing that. Definitely not.
We kind of a little bit talked about why we created this dance group and we touched onto that and what was the idea behind it. It was basically me after surgery watching dance videos and be like, I want this.
Yeah, you definitely have the greatest ideas at the weirdest spots.
Yeah. Do we want to cover?
I think we are not going to cover. I
might have been on the toilet when when I came up with the idea of podcast. But it's because my brain is busy. Like, I actually talked to my friend about this, and I said, I sat on the toilet and I came up with this great idea. And he literally said, it's because our brain is so busy. So when we stop, that's probably the 1 second where we stop and we go like, this is so good. I guess the next thing I would like to talk about is the early challenges. I probably was a bit closer to that. And then I'll share some of the things that I come across. But I feel like, Eva, you're quite good at like reminding me what the early challenges was, because I forget about the early challenges quite quickly, because I was like, it's fine.
It's fine. It wasn't a challenge.
It wasn't a challenge. It was just a journey.
Well, it was. Well, I think that there were challenges at the very start.
Yeah.
Because one thing is an idea. The second thing that is you need the actual people and the actual place. Yeah. So that's two challenges that you faced that I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, I think when I came up with this idea, firstly, I was like, I don't care how many people come. Like, as long as there is at least 2 pairs. Because my idea wasn't many people. My idea was the community, and let's start growing from somewhere. And so obviously I was very like nervous at my first practice, and I remember driving there, and number one, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like both of us doesn't have the study, like kind of university experience of being the teachers. Like both of us just are really passionate about it.
Exactly.
So number one, I was like, am I even good at this? And number two, it was like, how many people are gonna show up? What if no one shows up? What if it's just me and Alex and some of my friends? And I remember walking in there, and I stood there, and there was literally like, what was it, like 10 guys and like 14 girls there? And I stood there and
it was insane. I remember watching the photos and I was like, damn, she has people.
That was crazy. I mean, obviously people change and go because of personal circumstances, but it was like crazy. That first moment to stood there, and I remember I was like so anxious. And then I got in front of it, and all of a sudden the anxiety just left. And I'm not sure if my mums and my grandmas and my aunties' genes like kind of got into me, because they're all teachers. And I was like, I can do this, because everyone's there now listening to what I'm going to do. And I'm like, I'm not sure about it. Like having a little imposter syndrome. And then it just left. And I was like, actually, I really enjoyed it. And I obviously took a bit of an experience from all of my old dance teachers and everything that my mom and my grandma did, and I just sort of went with it. And I think the first practice was actually really good. I remember I couldn't fall asleep for like the first 2 months. Every Sunday I couldn't fall asleep. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah, so that was I think that first initial step to go there, because I know that like a lot of times when I approach people about dancing, they get really anxious about joining because it's like the first time.
Yeah.
But like going there as a dance teacher was like a next level anxiety, because I was like, oh my God, like
you actually need to be there in front of all of them, be like, hi. So my name is Liana
and I will be teaching you. And you know, and the other thing is like the fact that when I stood there, it was like lots of people were like older than me as well, so I'm just standing there like okay. But you know, I felt like I really enjoyed it, like the first practice, and I think I kind of not like fully got it, but I felt like I was kind of in my place. Like it didn't feel like off or anything like this. So yeah, that was, I guess, the initial do it kind of challenge, like initial feeling. And I guess, as you said about, and the next thing was actually finding the place, which was before the practice. So I might have skipped a little corner there. But it was the finding the place, which was actually really hard, because we don't live in a small city. We live in Leicester, right?
Yeah.
And actually finding a place in the budget, because we are all volunteers.
Yeah.
So we don't actually charge people much, because I don't think people should be charged much for this, because in the end of the day it's community. We only cover the cost of the whole. So my budget was quite low, and everyone would just say no, like no. And like I remember just sending these emails to all of these places around me, and no one would be available. So I guess that was really hard. But then eventually, with the help of other Latvians. We did find a hall, and that's how we ended up there. So I guess that was like the early challenges.
Yes, and then started also my challenges, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. So I remember when I joined, and obviously when Lena offered me, I wanted to say, a job offer for dance
It was
teaching.
as well, like, I didn't even know you.
Yeah, like we knew each other in a sense of like, your name is Lena, my name is Eve, and like
I'm sorry, completely, like, I'm completely going off the topic, but I remember the first time, like, you showed up in Latvian community dance, like a folk dance, and everyone was saying how amazing you are. So I remember thinking, oh my God, like, she's amazing, but like the one thing I would never do is like go and steal anyone's dancer.
Yeah.
But then you eventually approached me, so it took me about 2 days to go,
hey,
help me please, because it's like, as I said, maybe that was the other early challenge, because it's like we'll come back to that, but I think I just remember the one challenge was actually being the teacher, being the what did we say the other day? It's like literally you're like a social media manager.
Yeah.
You think about like fall costumes, projects, concerts, and all of that. And so I just felt like I wasn't able to be the best version of a teacher on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm quite bad about sometimes asking for help. So when
you are.
I know. So when you showed up, I was just like amazing, and I feel like we obviously instantly clicked. So
yeah,
your challenges.
But anyways, so when Lena offered me also to kind of help her out and teach, I was so happy. I was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, I have always wanted to teach, right? And oh my God, I have that opportunity right now. So basically, in my mind, I was like, it's all rainbows, butterflies, and everything is so amazing and nothing can get wrong. And then, as Liana mentioned at the start of the podcast, she's the patient one, where I am not. And I can't.
So we work well together.
Yeah, so we work very well together. But before we go into the nitty gritty, I remember I was saying to Liana, I was like, okay, we can do this, but we need to agree that like whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, we talk it through.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, I just didn't like how she did that or this, and just, go away from that conversation. So that was like one of my big rules. Like, if we are doing this correctly, and we are doing this with communication.
Yeah, and I mean, I might jump into this quickly, but if you can't take anything away from this podcast, I think the one thing that I want you guys to take away is like, if you do work with someone, like, communication is the key. And I feel like when you said that, I was like, this is amazing. You were getting my vibe as well, because it's like sometimes the conversations won't be pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the end of the day, I much rather like just be honest with the people you work with, or like at home, anything
like that. Just be honest and open, and like, if something doesn't work, just talk it through. And thankfully we agreed on that, and then obviously I joined one of my first practices, and then also for everyone that was there since February, and I joined in May, and I know there are only a few months, I think for some of the people, it was a little bit shocking that there is now another person that's going to be there, essentially telling them what to do, right? But from our perspective, it's like, at that point, we had like, 28 people, something like that?
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
That's a lot of people to manage. That's a lot of people to teach, right? And you need that second person to bounce off from. And now going into patient and non-patient, I essentially come from very strong dance groups back in Latvia, and how we were taught. It's absolutely different how you would teach someone here in UK.
Need some therapy.
That. Yeah. But it's like, it's so different how you would approach these things here in UK, because essentially this is a community group. Yes, you dance and you perform, and you try to be your best and things like that, but obviously I'm not used to that, right? And I remember, I think one of the first practices, I was like very direct. I was just like, you know, shouting over the music because that's what you do.
You came in guns blazing.
I was just like, we are doing this. We are doing this, guys. And obviously not everyone were happy. And I think that was the first challenge because that kind of opened my eyes of like, you know what? Every single person is different. And it's like, you know, when you're like a manager at work, that's how you manage people, right? You are trying to understand each individual person and then you manage them, like, you know, based on their personality, based on their values and things like that. Whereas like maybe at that first practice, I was just like, this is just a dance practice, right? Like how I went to dance practices in Riga, like it's just you just go guns blazing because that's a normal thing that you do. But not here, because here we have the community and people will come there not only because they have love for dance, but they will come there to find a belonging or find, you know, some kind of a like maybe closer relationship with their other halves. You know, if like let's say one half is like Latvian, other half is like some like British or Polish or whatever, so that I think that was like a big eye opener. That one practice, I think it took us like weeks to actually like really properly communicate it all out. Yeah, and
I think we were quite quick on communicating because I was
quite
honest.
Quick on communicating. It just took some time because I think our emotions were like up and down as well. But then obviously after that, like after going through that situation and like understanding, you know, where maybe, you know, I failed, not really failed, but like maybe where I need to adapt to the fact that this is more of a community than, you know, hardcore dance group that I'm used to. That really opened my eyes and like it was just like, okay, I need to adapt to it. And I adapted to it, and obviously, essentially, everything went smoothly. Those were my early voice. Early challenges.
Where did the voice go?
The voice left the chat.
The voice has left the chat. A lot of yapping.
A lot of yapping, exactly. But those are my early challenges.
Yeah, but I think we dealt with them really well. I think we straight away communicate with you the issue, and I think. Yeah. As you say, you obviously come from a really amazing background. You're such a strong like dancer and a teacher. Just giving you a bit of a praise. And I don't have that much experience. I can honestly say it. But I think together we like work really well.
Yeah. And I think it needed to happen. In a way, it happened. Yeah. Because now I really strongly believe that we have found that kind of a harmony of like how we approach difficult things, how we approach the actual teaching in the practices. When you are in those dance groups that I come from, no one really cares about your emotions.
That's bad though.
If you're upset about something, there is the door. Like
there's the door. There's the door. I'm not gonna swear.
But that's just how it works, because in every single dance group there will be always more girls than guys. Yeah. And especially in Riga, which is a capital city of Latvia, right? In these dance groups, it's just like, you don't like something, you can leave. Like that's how essentially I was raised in a dancing, right? No one cared about their emotions, and that I didn't realize that you need to care about emotions until I started teaching in UK.
When you go to, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never danced in an A-level group, but it's kind of like, when you go to a A-level group, it is a more like, as we use the word, guns blazing. Like, if you join that, it's kind of like you are expected to be really good, get it really quickly. It's not the case in diaspora. It's not the case in UK. I think obviously the people we get has so much joy to come there and be part of this. It's, you know, of course it's dancing, but it's not as much that. It's more about being together. And we, probably 70% of our dance group came with no experience. at all.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, again, it was like a new thing for me. And as we have mentioned, I think for the third time or the first time, I'm not the most patient person.
She can be patient. I think she's just she just labeled herself.
But like, it's just, but then again, when I saw the fact, like, you know, that everyone is trying their hardest, and when I see that work, you know, being done by these people, I'm just like, oh my God, that makes me happy. Like, I'm not being like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he didn't do that, or she didn't do that. I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh my God, there's a pointy toes. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's all about those little wins, and I think I'm so proud of every single dancer that has kind of stuck around. I mean, the beginning, of course, everyone kind of gets excited.
Yeah.
Comes there and goes like, oh my God, like I'm going to join it. But not everyone stays, which is fine. Sometimes it's the live situations and thing, and people always change. But we currently actually have quite a good like set people, don't we? Like a really strong. We would need one more guy though.
Yeah. So, guys, welcome.
Yeah. Any guys and girls, anyone is welcome.
Yeah, we welcome everyone, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm also looking for a husband, so.
Eva does need a husband. I'm basically married off, but
Yeah, so hey ho.
yeah. But I mean, that's it is about those little wins, and it can be hard work. Mainly sometimes when I will say it. Sometimes I've had moments when I don't even believe myself. However, looking at it, it's like when we start February, it's not been even a year, and actually starting to see the little results, it's pretty amazing.
No, it's really good.
And of course, there's moments, I know you don't have it as much as I do, like I'll probably doubt myself more than anything, because sometimes I'm just like,
And then I'm like, no, it's all right.
It's all good. I do have a good housemates here that keeps reminding me you're doing a good job. I think it's just me as a person. I'll always doubt myself, but seeing those little results and you know, not even little, like, you know, I think our dance group is like becoming like stronger every single day.
Every single day, yeah.
We're proud of you guys. If you're listening, we're so proud.
Yeah, we are very proud.
It's not just me anymore. Like, you also have been quite close to a financial aspect of the dance group. So I think the one thing to start off is, when starting community group, we started off, you know, I needed to find some way to cover the whole cost. So it's not a secret, because it's advertised everywhere. Our monthly cost is £15 per person, which covers 4 classes. But I've always said it, so the £15 helps covering the whole hire. Plus, if anything gets left over, we save it up.
Yeah.
Initially, it was done by cash, which, you know, not the best way, but also, you know, I don't get paid for this. Eva doesn't get paid for it. If anything, we're
just putting more of our money into the dance group.
Yeah, but because we love it so much.
Exactly.
But obviously, everyone's happy to do that. So eventually, with a help of dancers that kind of had a bit of a clue, we created a community dance group account, which I would say, you know, it was with their help. I did write all the constitution with their support, with my brain, and we put the brain together and we created this bank account, which I would say, if you do want to start a dance group or community group, do that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I am losing my voice, wait.
The voice is leaving the chat.
It's just gone.
It's just gone?
It's just gone. I've been talking, yapping for way
yapping for too long.
Yeah. But I guess that would be my thing, because number one, everything is on a account. Everything is much easier to track. So anyone starting the community group, I think you can open the community bank accounts anywhere, in any bank. So just look it up. You know, with the help of a bit of Googling and things, it's not as hard. It sounds scary, but it's actually not that hard to do it. As long as you got I think a goal, what you want to do with your group. As long as you got I think genuine thing, because I think the banks don't mind giving you, and I might be wrong, I don't work at bank.
Yeah.
But by the feels of it, I don't think they mind giving you the community bank account. What they do mind is a bit of a money laundering.
Yeah.
So, number one, open a community account. I think one rule is you need to have 3 people from 3 different households. So again, just find another 2 people, create an account, and your life is just going to be so much easier. I guess I wanted to drop that in there because a lot of people think it's scary, but we managed to open it within 2 months of being a dance group. So again, it wasn't just me. I had a bit of help. I had a bit of support. I don't think I would have done it straight away if I didn't have this support. I'll drop in some links below for some tips how to write a amazing constitution. Amazing is probably not the best word, but like a good constitution to get approved. And some of the things that I was researching before I'd done it. So if you are starting a community group in the UK, I don't think it applies for any other country. This is probably going to help you.
Yeah. And it's going to help you because what we were able to do, because we had that bank account, was to create our GoFundMe page, which was crucial for us because from financial aspects, the most expensive thing to run a dance group, a Latvian dance group, in fact, is the freaking dance costumes.
They are so expensive.
It's insane. So for background, right? So a skirt for a girl, for one girl, taking into account that we have 16?
About 16
girls. What was it, like £180?
Euros, I think, because we had to order from Latvia.
That's insane money for a group that are all volunteers, like barely scratches the surface to actually pay for the halls. And that's just skirt.
Yeah.
That you need also like the vests for the girls.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Latvian. Vests for the girls. You need crowns.
Yeah.
You need, for the boys, you need trousers, you need, again, vests. You, like, there's a lot of these things, and it's just incredibly expensive. And because we had that bank account, we were able to open the GoFundMe page. And we obviously, I remember Liana was just like, we can't just create GoFundMe page and just ask for money for like some Latvian costumes. Who's going to donate for costumes?
Yeah, I think I was like, we can't just beg for the money.
Yeah, exactly. And then at that time, I was telling Liana about the fact that I'm doing 3 Peaks Challenge with my work for basically our charity of the year. And she was like, why don't we do something like that? Like, what could we do? What could we do? And then she was like, maybe we can hike a mountain. I was like, sure, why not? And we ended up doing a hike to Snowdon.
It wasn't just that I said, maybe we can hike the Snowdon. I was like, but then we got to dance.
We got to dance, yeah. And then we need to film it.
It's hard to hike Snowdon on its own, but to actually dance in the end, it's bloody hard.
It was really hard. I almost died halfway up there, and then we got there. Amazing emotions, great stuff, right? And then we were like, oh, we need to go and dance. Actually, and we were just like,
and then everyone just kind of went with it.
Yeah, and actually, it was really fun.
Yeah.
The least fun part was that there was another freaking 3 hours
to go down.
But like we did it, and because of that, and thank if anyone who donated to our GoFundMe, if you're listening to this, watching this, massive thank you from both of us, because
not just from both of us, I think it's from all of our
all of our dancers, and because of your help, we were able to order our first 12 skirts.
Yeah, and I think 12 is a big number for a new dance.
It's a massive number.
Yeah.
Because the total was like 2,000 euros or something like that. It's insane money for like for volunteer group. Like we just do it because we love this thing, right? Not because we have spare money.
It is expensive. I'm not gonna lie, and I know that we are still not. We didn't actually raise
enough money. Yeah,
enough money. We raised about 1,500 something pounds. So if anyone wants to still donate, it's still active. I will also pop some links below. We'll be grateful for anything like £5 a share or anything at all, because everything adds up together. And I think the cutest donation I had was from Alex's auntie.
Okay, I don't think I know this story.
Do you not know it? We went to a Alex's mum's. Alex is my fiance, for the reference. Alex's mom's birthday party, and she came up to me and she had £10. And she's come up to me and she's like, how do I donate? And I'm like, what's she on about? She's like, I do not know how to donate on that page, so can I just give you the £10? And I was like, thank you. I was like so grateful. And I think it's those little things, and it's like the fact that we had so many people around us that were happy to donate, and we chipped in, and you know, we still obviously are very far off from the goal, because unfortunately you cannot do the performances without the costumes.
No, you can't. And it's incredibly hard to get that money. And then going back to the bank account, right? Another thing that this helps us is that we can write projects that we're gonna do.
We've not kind of jumped that horse, is that right way?
We're gonna just roll with it. We can start writing projects for getting some funding, which we're gonna get to.
Yes.
But we would not be able to do this without a bank account. So obviously, going back to where Leanne started this about finances and stuff like that, it's very, very important that you have that bank account if you create a new community group, because then you can apply for these projects. You can do GoFundMe pages. Essentially, we want to be the prettiest, that perform there, right?
We do.
We want our girls to
feel good
when they perform.
And the guys as well.
We want our guys to be like, they dance and all the girls in the room are like, oh my god.
I mean, of course, but it's not only like we want to feel the prettiest, it's also like a costume does tell the story of a folk dancing, and it's just the value of it. And putting on a folk costume is just another next level feeling, isn't it? It's like you just feel like for a moment the most beautiful person, because it's just like it gives you that power. It's like it's kind of like wearing a wedding dress on your wedding day, but it's just like it's amazing. And unfortunately we can't do it without it. We need them, and it is a massive part of it, and we are tackling that one step at a time.
One step at a time. And
we are still at early stages. Currently, we have borrowed some costumes from another kind dance group, which is amazing, so we can at least perform at the moment. But of course, we will need to give them back eventually. And we need to get our own. And I think we did cover a bit of projects as well, and I want to jump into this because I know that a lot of people, when I first started, sent me links and said like, oh, you should apply for this Latvia's project and this one. And I was like, I cannot apply for 2 years.
Yeah, which is a massive gap.
It is a
massive gap.
It is a big gap currently, and I completely get why they do that. However, it can be quite hard to start something when you know that there won't be any support. So, I will be honest, I wish there was a bit more support kind of coming from it. And, I wish there was some kind of way of giving just a little support a bit quicker. But I also get, you want to make sure that this dance group is kind of like strong. But, I've had some amazing support from other dance teachers around, because I know I got the guys' vests from the dance teacher in Norway.
Norway, yeah.
Because I remember she came up to me. She's like, "What are you gonna do about costumes?" I was like, "That's a conversation for a different." She's like, "Actually, I can help you out with," and she was like, "I know how hard it is at the beginning." So to do this, I think you need to have a massive passion for it, because we constantly think about it, and we constantly be like, what's the best thing? And it's hard. I'm not saying that like we should get a full support, but at least I wish there was just a little support.
Like a little bit. These again are challenges that, not even talking about Latvian dance groups or like any type of a community, when there is someone with the passion like Liana had, right? At the start when she created this.
I still have that passion.
I know, but like...
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But like when there is someone with that passion and they are just way too scared to do this, because what in this podcast what we're gonna try to do is not gonna be just yapping around Latvian folk dancing. It's gonna be try and research and talk about the folk in general. And obviously a lot of communities have folk dancing. A lot of countries have folk dancing, and I can only imagine that. Yes, it is expensive for us. Most likely it's expensive for anyone else, wherever they come from. And don't be scared. Do your research. Create your community account.
Yeah.
And just do freaking GoFundMe and try and find projects and hike Snowdon and
just come out, be creative with it.
Be creative. Just go crazy with it, because there's no one stopping you.
Yeah.
You can go and do whatever. Create podcasts.
And I think that is the coolest thing about it. Is with us doing this dance group, it's no one can stop us doing anything. We can just do these, who knows, this podcast, maybe our mums are going to listen. Well, mums won't, because we're speaking, we yap in English.
We yap in English.
Maybe just our family and friends are going to listen to us. But that's not the whole point of this. I think the point is, it's, even if it's one person that's going to listen to this podcast and just kind of sort of take something away from it.
That's amazing.
I wish there was a podcast when I started it, and they just kind of been honest to me and said it will be hard, but one step at a time.
One step at a time, yeah.
Yeah, so, we will update you guys with our costume situation, because I feel like we're just
we were just going to get so excited.
I am so excited, and I'm so excited to have that first little bit of our own. And it's everyone's done their little bit in this dance group to kind of do it. Remember, some people used to do little bake sales. And, it wasn't just the Snowdon.
Yeah, it wasn't just the Snowdon. And
was it Inara and I think Eva both did?
Yeah, they did a bake sale. And remember Damien in his birthday?
Oh yeah, he did a little
a
he
corner.
put,
The photos and everything.
Yeah.
And there was a story about us. And you can donate here. Oh my God, that was just lovely. When I saw that, I teared up a little bit.
I love you guys. You're the best. We have the best people in our dance
we
group.
Really do. We really do.
It's just amazing. So I think that's kind of a little touch on the financial aspects.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably going to be more the longer we're going to go into this.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the challenges and all sorts of stuff will come up.
The goods and the bads.
The goods and the bads.
I think there's more goods.
Yeah. I think so too,
Good choice.
Yeah. Because, we do have, some challenging moments, but I think that just kind of goes away because good stuff keeps happening, right?
Yeah.
Remember, those photos came in a post the other day?
Yeah. I was having a bit of a bad, it was a tough week.
It was.
You ever broke half foot?
Yes.
And then I had a bit of a knee injury. We don't know how. We do know how. I'm just a bit too embarrassed to say, because I was dancing at home. I didn't even do it in a dance practice. And so it was a bit of a tough week, and I think I just had a lot, and and then I was a bit oh my God, am I doing the right thing? And then the photos came, and I looked at them, and there was memories since February, which is not even a full year, of everything we'd done.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not an emotional person. You are. I'm the patient and non-emotional.
I am non-patient and emotional.
Yeah, I think that kind of works. And I teared up.
And hello, Marty.
This is our guest, the first guest of the podcast.
Guest speaker today.
Oh, baby.
Oh, hello, darling.
Hiya. Do you want to yap about folk?
Yeah, she does.
Do you want to yap about folk? So, we covered, I guess, the hardest part, which is the financial part.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably going to scare quite a bit of people at first. I mean, I was quite scared about it as well initially, but everything's going to sort itself out. You're just going to keep trying. You're just going to keep, doing these crazy ideas. Or, we've not applied for the project yet, but once we will,
Yeah.
I think that would be an amazing episode to do about, because I
how
don't
to
think
create
there's enough
projects.
information out there. Like, I feel like we gotta share that information. It's our like duty
to share these
to
things.
share it.
Yeah.
So once we write a project, we will share. I've heard it's hard, but
And I'm not the best person to put things on a paper, so
I'm quite good at that. So
that's why we're a good pair.
yes, we just make it better.
Exactly.
However, I want to talk about the joys
Yeah,
and the rewards.
because there are a lot.
Yes, because even though there is the scary things and all of that and money and how do I get this and how do I do all of this, and sometimes it's just like that might stop you. It's the joys and the rewards. And the only way we get paid in UK as diaspora teachers, and I know in Latvia as well, the dance teacher wage is not very big as well,
Yeah,
is
the emotions that you get.
Yeah.
That's what we get paid. Like, it really is.
Yeah, it's the
like-
performance, isn't it? When they perform and they do well. Like, I remember the first time when our dance group performed in Perkonita's birthday. That was the one that you met us.
Yeah.
And I remember standing behind it and I was crying. And again, I'm not an emotional person, but I never had so much stress about seeing them go on the stage for the first time. And it's those little things, and it's like you see them grow, you see them learn from all the knowledge that you have, and they just become better and they become stronger dancers and they're enjoying themselves. And you know, the other thing is the little friendships they create
Yes.
through the dance group.
Yes,
Like,
that's very true.
yeah, it's like people meet each other, and I think, I mean, it's hard to even explain how cool it is to be like, sometimes sit down and be like, it's because we brought them together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it could have been anyone else, and everyone else in diaspora is doing an amazing job. Like, not only in diaspora and all that and other dance groups, but obviously going back to the challenges a little bit, it's like the other thing is like in UK or any other diaspora group, it's the fact that it's harder to find people.
Yeah, it is.
Because in Latvia, you might have more Latvians that kind of done dancing, but here it's like most of the times people never dance before, they just want to be part of the Latvian group.
Yeah.
And the fact that you see them start pointing their little toe
Oh, yes.
and then getting the posture in and all of these little things, and it's just, those are, I think, at least my personal rewards.
Yeah, definitely, and mine as well. I think the biggest one, as like, you know, like this massive joy moment of mine, was actually looking back at the Snowdon. And I remember Liana was starting to create this video, and she was like, "Oh, do you want to see like the first 2 seconds of the video?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yes, of course I do."
Yeah.
And I saw those 2 seconds of that video, and I was just like, "We did this. We people who, like, fair enough, some of us maybe knew each other before the dance group, right? But not everyone. And like everyone were like our like this crazy idea,
Yeah.
and they were like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we did it, and I literally teared up, and it was just like this amazing moment for me.
It was just amazing to see us get together and just do our best. Like, see if we work as a team.
Exactly. But even the fact that everyone is showing up and they are dedicated. I know me and Leon do a lot dancing and, you know, trying to teach ourselves how to do these things.
Because at the moment our legs are...
No, well, not at the moment, because I broke my foot and Leon's knee is quite messed up. But before that, we really did that a lot. But seeing the other dancers actually finding that time and, you know, sending us videos of like, oh, is this correct? Like, I'm really trying, and I'm just, it's just, those are these joy moments that, like, that's the reason why I'm doing it.
It's as soon as you start projecting the same love for the dance and you see that in your dancers, I think that's probably where I'm at with it, is like, as soon as you see that they come for exactly the same reasons you do, because I keep always saying, it's like, I want this dance group to, it's not ever about the numbers, it's about everyone just sharing the same love for it. I feel like the dance group will always be more or less how the dance teachers are. So if we can project that love for the dance and Latvian culture to these people, that's amazing. We actually have quite a few non-Latvians in our dance group.
Yeah.
So, for example, Alex, he joined, as we mentioned, the dancing about 5 years ago now. And then when I actually started this dance group, the coolest thing about it was the fact that I came with Alex, and then I had another 3 girls come up and be like, can I bring my partner? He doesn't speak Latvian. And I was like, yeah. And I think that's the other thing we do teach in Latvian and English. So everyone can kind of understand, because we do also have quite a lot of younger generation in our dance group that actually struggles a little bit with Latvian. Well, they still speak, but obviously for them it's easier to understand in English. And I think it's just lovely for me to see the fact that, like, me and Alex got very much closer doing Latvian folk dancing, and to see that happen to another couples in our dance group, it's just amazing.
It is amazing.
Share the love of Latvian folk dance.
It's exactly.
Fun.
And that just proves that, like, you know, you don't need to be Latvian to dance Latvian folk dancing. Yes, it's the name of it, but it doesn't mean that that's who you need to be. So all that aside, I mean, we yapped about what we've done. But shall we talk about what we want to do as well? Because I feel like goals are very important in anything that you do. We actually have quite exciting dance year. Like, I feel like I am so excited about this dance season. Yes, like I can't wait for summer. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be so rewarding.
Small goals. We got one performance coming up on the 16th. That's going to be our first performance this dance season in Peterborough. So if anyone wants to come and watch,
welcome.
I might be dropping loads of links below this, but, you know, come and join us. It'll be fun. Pretty sure it's even a free event. So
it is a free event,
So anyone can come and watch us. So that's going to be our first performance. Very excited. Very stressful, but very excited. I think we're almost ready. What do you think?
We're getting there.
We're
getting there. The problem is that I broke my foot, so I can't perform. So we needed to swap some things around. And we will be all right.
We'll be okay. You know, it's all about just navigating this, and you never, like, I think ever since I started dance group, it's like no day is boring. Like, you'll find out anything.
Exactly.
Mainly before performances, all of a sudden someone's gonna just break their foot, or, you know, hurt themselves, or get ill, or it's never
life.
Quiet. And I guess the next performance we got is in Aberdeen in Scotland.
Yes, that's so exciting. I can't wait for that one. It's gonna be so fun. And there are gonna be so many kind of memories from it.
And also the other thing, we're going to meet other dance groups. I think this year it's only from UK, because I think only 10 groups could join, and quite quickly the spots got taken. We were like the first ones, because we were like, we're so keen to get there. And like, we can't wait to be there. And again, if you are in Aberdeen, if you're Latvian or not Latvian, or you're curious about Latvian culture, come and watch it. I might be dropping loads of links below, but come and watch it. And I think it'll be amazing. It's only going to be dance performances as well, which is quite rare. Like,
because usually there are like choirs as well, which is not a bad thing, but like I think it's just nicer, like that we do have one that's just purely dance groups.
For dance,
Plus, if you do come and watch and you stay for the party, it's gonna be great.
We can teach you some great moves.
100%. And my foot will be healed, so I will be dancing.
And she promised she's not going to break another foot.
I hope so.
And then moving from Aberdeen, the next one is European Latvian Culture Days.
Yes, in
Bradford.
The one next to Leeds. And that's a big one.
Yeah, that's massive. I mean, it happens, I think, I might be lying here, but I think it happens every 4 years or 5. There was one in Ireland about 5 years ago, or maybe 4. Might be lying, might need to check it. I went there, it was amazing. It's like a little Latvian song and dance festival.
And again, if you live near Bradford,
drop another link.
we will drop another link. Come and watch the culture days.
Yeah.
And it's not just about like, you know, watching the performances. It's also an opportunity to actually learn a bit more about actually what's going on in your neighborhood, really, because Latvians are pretty much everywhere.
We are, and I think it's just a beautiful culture.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be biased because I am Latvian, but knowing what Alex experiences from his time since he joined the Latvian folk dancing, I think it's just beautiful. There's a lot of costumes, there's a lot of fun, and you know, and hopefully the another one, we are hoping to fly to Latvia this summer for Dziesma Dejo Dejo Skan. We are not 100% sure yet, but we are hoping that we're going to make it there. It's just few challenges.
Again, it's like a mini
Latvian Song and Dance Festival, which we're going to speak about in another episode, because I feel like it deserves a whole episode.
It does deserve a whole episode, yes.
If you don't know what Latvian Song and Dance Festival is, Google it, and then we'll speak about it.
Or we can drop a link.
I feel like there might be too many links.
Too many links.
Obviously, finish the girls' costumes this year.
Yes.
We will be DIYing quite a lot of few things, like the crowns and the vests, which again, once we kind of jump that ship, is that a right way? Jump that ship?
We will roll with it.
We will roll with it. We will speak about it and kind of share our experience, because there's not enough information.
There isn't a lot of information about it, and like everything we're gonna be doing, it's like
we're just figuring it out.
We are just trial and error really at this point.
Once we saw the girls' costumes, the boys are like next in line. Yeah. It's just one thing at a time. We should just probably rename this episode One Thing at a Time. At this point. If we did change the episode name, it's because it was better. I'm sorry, guys. And I think that's it for the first episode.
Yeah. That's basically us, our challenges, our joys, and our goals. We are creating this as essentially a forum for a knowledge that we can share, and hopefully to also collaborate with other communities, because this podcast is Folk.Yap.
Yeah.
So
it's not only about Latvian.
It's not. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about Latvian, but like it's
that's what we're closer to.
Yeah, that's like our thing. But we will do our researches. Yeah. We will talk about other folk groups, folk dances.
I will say, I feel like this might be a small pool of people that are actually into this, or folk dancing, or community groups and stuff like this. And I know that's very specific, but I think our goal is just to share our experience. Yeah. And if we can help one person to kind of get that courage and do it, then that's the goal. And our mums and families as well. Yeah. Just so they can listen and just be happy for us.
Exactly.
Because I think they all are. But
my mom commenting on Facebook, I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud. We are sorry that I wanted to cover it at the beginning. The reason we decided to do this in English is purely because we are based in UK, in Leicester. As we said, we don't want to just cover Latvian folk dancing. We want to cover folk dancing in general, and hopefully we can get some guests in that can tell us more, because that'd be really cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I would love to have like a guest speaker for each kind of a folk dance, you know what I mean, someone that represents like Morris dancing or Lithuanian dancing. That would be incredible. So
if you're listening and you are interested, to tell us more,
because it's wine and yapping.
Yeah, and if you don't drink wine, that's absolutely fine.
We have water.
Yeah. Or a juice. Well, thank you guys for listening to the first Folk.Yap. I think it was good, wasn't it?
It was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I mean, probably the start was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I think as more as we went into it, it went better. And obviously the wine was helping as well. Yeah. But we got into it, and
Key part of this podcast is the wine.
is the wine. And obviously, I don't know, do we give a bit of a teaser of our next episode?
Let's give a bit of a teaser. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah?
What is the teaser?
What is the teaser? So we talked a lot about challenges around folk dancing in general, or community groups and things like that. And what we want to talk in the next episode is about breaking the stigma around folk dancing, because I think that's like the biggest challenge for like an individual to join something like this.
Yes. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining in, and I hope you're going to stay with us
and
for the rest of us.
Let's tune it out with a Sigurd's music.